unbelievable. It is so good. Mate, there's more corn out of that pan than there is in it. Mise en place, baby, mise en place. I feel it's really out of order when they sell you a ripe and ready and she's not ripe and ready. She's just rock solid. Bowl selector, 1, 2, 3, chicken. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the YouTube. All of my ingredients are out because this one is going to be fun. So this is going to be 5 common mistakes that you make when cooking at home. Catch your title. Let's get the whiteboard. So don't forget to like and subscribe and follow if you want to see me cooking. Yeah, all right. Feeling a bit fruity. I had a couple of coffees and I'm feeling excited. We're going to do like a salmon taco. Phew. Got the tacos from Amazon. So we're going to do these salmon tacos, but each little element is going to be a lesson for you. So lesson number 1, I'm going to try and write this neatly and everyone will be like, how can you've changed? And I'm like, yeah, because I need to read it. So the first one is skipping prep. What you have in a kitchen is this wonderful French word called mise en place, which I think translates to everything in its place. So making sure that once you prep something, they go somewhere, doing things. As you can see from my channel, I'm very chaotic, but if you're starting to learn to cook and you need to sort of focus on certain things, prepping something, putting it somewhere, ticking off a list is also another wonderful thing you can do, but that's just boring, no one's going to do that. Mise en place, making sure we've done everything. Number 2, a sharp knife. Now, you know that I've got loads of knives because I love them. I think they're amazing. But a sharp knife is a safe knife. If you don't have a sharp knife, then when you try and chop things, the knife won't go where it wants to and you'll probably injure yourself and get very damaged. Number 3, not controlling the heat. So this is a major one. If you're frying something, you know, don't just put everything up to 10 and then just hope it's going to cook. If you're going to fry something, maybe it needs the temperature turned down a little bit because you need to baste it. Don't just put something in the oven at 200 degrees and hope it's going to cook. It's probably 180. But you know, that kind of thing. Control the heat. Think about the temperatures that you're using. Number 4, not tasting. Massive one that I always talk about. People don't taste things. They cook things, they go, oh yeah, the recipe said a teaspoon of this and a pinch of that. Beep, taste. Taste as you go. Do you want it to make it a little bit spicy? Do you want a bit more tang? Do you want a bit more salt? You never know unless you eat it. Ingredients, although they may be very similar and consistent throughout, sometimes you could pick up a cabbage that's maybe a bit more bitter. Maybe it's not as strong and it needs a bit more flavour to carry it. Taste. It's the only thing that can change things. Number 5. The whole channel is all about think about it and care. When you cook, you need to think about it. You need to think about why you're chopping something like something, why you're seasoning it now, why you're tasting it, what you're putting in, what you're doing. You need to think about it. But the only reason that you're going to think about it is if you care about the outcome. If you don't give a f about the outcome, then it doesn't matter. Don't think about it. But if you want to serve someone a delicious plate of food that could look like but taste amazing, think about it and care. There we go. So the first one, I'm going to rattle through it quite quickly because it's going to be a marathon video. But we're going to skip on to number 2, which is sharp knife. I've just received this knife from Grateful Knives, Wilco, and it is unreal. I'm going to give you a quick whistle-stop tour on how to sharpen your knives. So in here, I've got whetstones, the 1000 and a 3000. So all you have to think, the higher the number, the smoother it's going to get, all right? I mean, I learned this from Tom from Kitchen Provisions, which I think is quite interesting. Very gently and very carefully, take a pen, it can be a whiteboard pen, it can be a permanent marker, and just run it along the knife. So when you do that, you'll know that you're actually catching the edge and grating the edge, smoothing that edge off. So I should have just done a knife sharpening tutorial. So if you think knives can be like this is very DIY and basic. This is creating an edge. This is what you're trying to do. So if you rub away one side, it's going to flatten that, then this side is going to be dull, so therefore it's not going to be sharp. I think you're meant to draw it like this. There's going to be all the knife people having a pop at me. But in my head, all you have to do is keep a consistent angle here and here, so you sharpen it down into a very fine point. Really quickly, because this video isn't about that, take your knife, put it down. Tom from Kitchen Provisions said the very cowboy method is to put your finger just underneath, just gently rest it on. That is about 15 degrees. Then all you're going to do from there is just rub back and forward. So you can go from tip like this and work your way along, do-do-do. Then if you have a look, you'll start to see that you're rubbing that away. Bum, do both sides, nice and good. And then you flip onto another stone. This is a 3000, so this one, can you hear the difference? And then last but not least, if you really want to go fancy, this is a leather strop and you just push it away from you, pull it back, and you're basically polishing the knife and making it razor sharp. So there you go. This video is gonna be so long. Sorry, Francis. So that is number 2 boxed off. Let's do mise en place. So what we're gonna do, as I said, these salmon tacos, right? Quick pickled red onion. Gonna do some pickled cabbage, very quick, bit of freshness. Gonna do some burnt corn and a bit of avocado. So I'm just gonna go around and prep everything. So for the corn, literally just gonna run my knife around like this, so I get these lovely little kernels here. And when I say about, you know, mise en place, about doing things, if you're like me, you can do multiple things at once while you're cooking, then it's a good way to plan. So for example, with this corn, what I'm gonna start to do is I'm gonna start to char and burn this, and then I'll move on to something else. Missed the bin. So get these into a pan, a gentle heat, because I've got quite a bit of time. Nice bit of lube in there, and let those cook. While we crack on with number 1 on the list, we're also thinking about number 3, controlling the heat. So control the heat, nothing's happening. Turn it up. It's all good. I'm gonna slice these. Oh, this knife is ridiculous. Nice and thin. Right. Touch too high. Turn it down. So red onions, super simple. Pinch of salt and a little bit of vinegar. When you have salmon, depends how you flavour it, but it could be a bit flabby, right? A bit fatty. So what you need is something acidic or something a bit spicy to kind of lift it through that. So these are gonna be your little elements of pickle. This cabbage here, I wish they made small cabbages because these are just obscenely big. I'm just literally gonna take a tiny bit off like that. And then I'm gonna make this as thin as possible on the old mandadoodah. Flat hand with the old mandolin. Look at that, lovely little thing. In you go. So just getting a nice bit of caramelisation on the corn, and then this is all just garnish at the minute, so a little bit of green chilli, get some jalapeno if you've got some jalapeno. Mise en place, baby, mise en place. Mate, there's more corn out of that pan than there is in it. Okay, take you off the heat, mate. You're going a bit mad. Oh, cheers, Ocado. Ripe and ready? Absolutely not. I feel it's really out of order when they sell you a ripe and ready and she's not ripe and ready, she's just rock solid. I suppose it is the middle of winter though, isn't it? Not very seasonal. Just gonna get this all into here. I know what you're saying. Oh, warm avocado, yeah. Deal with it. Season this up. A little bit of vinegar, a little bit of salt, nice bit of oil. We'll let that do its thing. We'll have a taste in a minute. So far, we're looking quite good. I'm gonna have a little tidy down and then I'll be back, all right? Right, so I've got a lovely bit of salmon here. This was from a whole side that I've just lopped off a bit that I had at home. Excuse me. One of the brilliant things about spice rubs is they're already done. This one is from, who is it? Angus and Oink. They sent me loads of them. The honey and chili one, it's actually quite wonderful. Now this goes on to, hang on, let's pour this on top here. What lesson is this? Think about it. Number 5. Bing! Think about it, right? You've got a nice bit of acidity, you've got a nice bit of crunch going on. You want something that's maybe just sort of like the carrier of flavour. So, salmon, keep it quite simple. I put no oil in that pan, have I? Think about it, stick it in the oven. I'm gonna stick it in the oven. So I've got these lovely pickles, freshness, bit of crunch, not so much flavour. Then you've got some chilli, it's going to bring a bit of heat. You're going to have that salmon, which is going to be lovely. We've got a little bit more of some Cholula hot sauce. This is the smoked chipotle one. So this is going to bring, you know, element of heat, but also smokiness. What else do you want in there? Do you want something to nullify it all a little bit? Maybe something creamy. You could put some yogurt or a bit of Kewpie. I'm going to put a bit of Kewpie. But then the most important one, which we kind of skipped over, is number 4, bing, not tasting. It's the biggest lesson in cooking. People just don't taste. It infuriates me. I've said this a million times before, but people just kind of cook and just make it look nice and then don't even think about what's been going on. I haven't tasted that and it's nice. But if I was to put that on the table, on its own, bit bland. Bit of that, bit of lime, and that'll make that little sister pop. Trust me, you could put the fresh chilli through that if you wanted to, but I'm going to give people the option, or myself, because it's only me. Maybe they don't. Maybe they don't want spice straight away. You know, right? Tasted it. Number 1 makes me happy. Number 2, we all know what these are going to taste like, but these are going to be good. What does it taste like? Great. I'm going to put a bit of lime through that, because I've got some here. Liven that cabbage up a little bit. Teeny pinch of salt, scrunch it through. Like a little fresh slaw. Okay, there we go. Let's wait for the salmon to cook, and then we'll be back. Okay, my little hairy friends, I've just pulled this out. Pulled it out, little girl. See if you can see these bits in here, that white stuff. I think what it is, correct me if I'm wrong, is when you start overcooking salmon that the protein starts to break down and something happens and it oozes that out. So whenever you're cooking salmon at home, a lot of people tend to look for that and go, oh, that's gonna be nice. But no, that is when it's gonna start to go dry and a little bit rubbery. Now, I think I've just overcooked that like an absolute Gonna do a couple of these taco wraps because we are good to go. So this is our little salsa. We've obviously tasted it. I'm basically gonna take a bit of this QP. I'm gonna do a little bit, and then a bit of the hot sauce. And I'm gonna kind of do a little hot sauce blend. Right, so look, have a taste. Have a good taste. Oh yeah, smoky umami. Oh. If we take a little think, I hope this video made sense about what we got here. Skipping prep, the mise en place, the idea of prepping things so you're ready. When that salmon comes out of the oven, we're ready to go. Everything's there, lovely jubbly. Sharp knife, rattled over that, I've got a sharp knife. Not controlling the heat, so like that with the tacos, you know, if you have it too high, they're gonna burn. If they're too low, they're not gonna do anything, get any color. Controlling the heat with the salmon, making sure things don't burn and they cook nicely. Not tasting, mate, I taste consistently, even eating raw ingredients when they're not gonna kill you, to make sure that it's enjoyable, yeah? Think about it and care. Talk to yourself, honestly. It's one of the best ways to improve with cooking, is talk to yourself. I'm gonna do a video on Gordon Ramsay cooking and why it infuriates me. I'll do it as one of my next ones. But talk to yourself. Go like, what's this? A lovely corn savory tortilla, right? Got a bit of salmon here. I did taste that, the rub, and it was a little bit sweet, which it could work quite nicely. So you've got a nice fatty bit of salmon, bit sweet. And then we take a little bit of our cabbage, red onions, a couple of little bits of chili, double dip, a little bit of your salsa, a little bit of your little mayo, a bit more hot sauce, acidity. See what I'm saying? Think about it. Why does it all work? Why do these flavors work? Salty, maybe a touch bitter, sour, the fattiness, all of that kind of stuff. It's unbelievable. It is so good. 65 out of 10. It's not traditional, but it's f***ing tasty. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're enjoying this channel. Share with your friends. Comment. I love you all. Respect. I'm gonna eat more of these. Bye.